Our next award is a brand new one. The HIV Hero Award, presented by ACON, recognises outstanding service and/or achievements in the fields of HIV prevention, research, treatment, advocacy, care and support. So please welcome to the stage President of the Australian Human Rights Commission, Professor Rosalind Croucher, and the State Member for Sydney, Alex Greenwich.
Thank you. I'm so glad you asked me back. Last year, I was the understudy for Ed Santo, my wonderful colleague as Human Rights Commissioner, who couldn't attend on the night, and it was my very first gig in the role as President of the Human Rights Commission. And what most of you might not know, but I do know to my utter embarrassment, was that I stole the award. The awards last year were discreetly contained in a wooden box. And I'm sure as a result of the fact that I stole the award, as in I had to go early, so I did the first presentation on the evening, and I was presented this little wooden box without any explanation. I thought, well, maybe that was for me. So I quietly walked off the stage with the wooden box, not understanding until someone chased me down the stairs. But in fact, that was the award that I was supposed to be handing over. I noticed tonight that the awards are unboxed. They look beautiful, but I do apologise profoundly for my embarrassment last year, and thank you for inviting me back. I'm so proud to be here and to be involved in the inaugural presentation of the HIV Hero Award. As Mark Trevorrow said on the beautiful video with Cocker Spaniels or whatever those lovely cuddly things were, he talked about the horror and nightmare associated with HIV. And as I understand, the three things that enables us to deal with this awful disease is research, advocacy and care. And let me share with you just one quiet moment that speaks to the research, advocacy and particularly the care element in this equation. I spent many, many hours in the leukemia ward at North Shore Hospital with my darling husband, and I was told that what the leukemia patients go through in the treatments to deal with their disease is like the dealing with HIV. And for me, it was like a blinding light of association and understanding. So my husband is a statistician, and so I said to him, darling, someone has to be on the good side of the stats. And 5 years later, 3 years after a bone marrow transplant, I still have my darling husband at my side. But that moment of affinity and understanding is one that I carry with me this evening in recognising the HIV hero for the research and advocacy that enables us to beat these hideous, horrible, confronting illnesses, but also the care that all of us who have lived with someone, who loves someone, who wants to heal someone that goes through the illness that can take you off this planet in the beat of a heartbeat without justification or desert. I pay tribute to you, and I think in the HIV Hero Award, and thank you for forgiving me for stealing the award last year, and you honour me in allowing me to return. This year is the 70th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and the principal article in that concerns the dignity and equality of all. We are all equal in dignity and respect. And if we remember that in facing illnesses, in loving one another, and going forward in challenging diseases and prejudices, then we're on the right path. So thank you. And now I have to do something. Having got that off my chest, I have to introduce the finalists. And the finalists for the HIV Hero Award are
Alison Kincaid. Alison has provided strong leadership in HIV and sexual health within the public health sector for over 40 years and is currently the clinical manager for many junior and senior nurses in regional areas across New South Wales. David Crawford. For 3 decades of providing service and care to people living with HIV, including a long-running role as a registered nurse at Ward 17 South at St Vincent's Hospital. Now at Positive Life New South Wales, David continues to work tirelessly to improve the health and well-being of people living with HIV in New South Wales. AIDS, Dementia and HIV Psychiatry Service, ADAPS, for providing care, compassion and support over many years for people living with HIV experiencing cognitive impairment and dementia. Lizzie Griggs, serving the community since the early 1980s, Lizzie has worked in a variety of roles in support of people living with HIV, including setting up the world's first nurse-led HIV/AIDS outreach service for male and transgender sex workers at the Albion Street Centre.
Good evening, everyone, and what an inspiring group of finalists. Can I just do a huge thank you along with my parliamentary colleagues to ACON for the important work they do in advising us, in guiding us, in lobbying us, and indeed in holding us accountable. You see some of their work, but they are often in the halls of New South Wales Parliament working extremely hard on behalf of our community. So a huge thank you to ACON on behalf of my parliamentary colleagues for that work. Now it is indeed an honour to announce the HIV hero, and that is David Crawford.
First time a man offers me flowers and I turn them down. Sorry. I'm going to go on script. Sorry. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I was born in northwest New South Wales, so on different land, but I love being here. What an honour to be nominated amongst such legends in their own right. I was part of setting up ADAPS, and without, I can see Dee there and Jenny, thank you. Love working with you guys. I can't begin to thank everyone who put faith in me for me standing here now 34 years after my HIV diagnosis and 29 years after starting as a rookie nurse on Ward 17 South at St Vincent's Hospital. It was truly a war zone. Really, you have no idea. This is where I began to meet my heroes. The amazing, beautiful people, fellow brothers and sisters bonded by one common thread, that of HIV. These young men, mostly at that time, some transgender, drag queens, famous people and a few inspiring women, haemophiliacs, all unknowingly were giving me the strength to face what I was going to go through one day. They died showing courage, humour, and an underlying fight for them to endure the unspeakable indignity of their body or mind failing them, and in some cases, both. I wanted them to be looked after the way I wanted to be looked after. I'm a veteran living with HIV, but I also live with survivor guilt. I've lived an amazing life, and fortunate I can do what I do, and I love doing what I do so much. People with HIV are fighters. We live with the injustice of stigma and experience its blatant, harmful discrimination, and it forces us into being resilient. We have no choice. While some fall into seclusion, the path of taking substances or suicide to escape this pain. But thankfully I have those who accept me, love me and support me, and I want to share this award with my heroes that didn't make it today. So thank you very much for this award. It means a lot.